Hello everyone and welcome to Lot of Tech once again. So in today's video we'll be talking about cameras. What are the best kind of cameras that you can use for your YouTube work? I'll be showing you my cameras if I'm using my DSLR or my smartphone, and also we'll be talking about different kind of filming scenarios if you are filming at home, and also if you are in a very small space, in a very tight space which is not too much, just like the way I have. So what are the kind of different filming techniques that you can use? So let's begin with the video. So first of all, I want to tell you that this footage that you're looking at right now is being filmed with my Samsung Galaxy S10's front camera, and this is how the footage is going to look like if I remove the filter and all sorts of minor changes in the post processing. And if I put back the filter again, then this is how your quality or the footage is going to look like. The first and the most important thing is that you have to make your viewers feel that you are filming in a big space. Whether you are filming with your smartphone or your DSLR, your space should always look big and wide. Also, this has some other advantages, like you can zoom in and zoom out of the clip. Also, when you are taking these clips in our Adobe Premiere, there's enough amount of window on all the sides to adjust the frame top and bottom, and also left and right. The next important thing is how to film yourself. Now it might sound very easy, but actually it is not. So first of all, you have to figure out with what device you want to film yourself, whether it's your smartphone or your DSLR. If you are using your DSLR for filming yourself, make sure it has a flip out screen or any secondary display on which you can view what you are filming at. Also, if you are using your DSLR, make sure that it has a good autofocus system, very good eye tracking system, just like the Sony mirrorless camera, so that whenever you are shifting yourself in the frame, it always keeps a track on the object, or you can say it keeps a track of yourself. And all the entry level Nikon and Canon cameras don't have a good autofocus system. Like the Nikon D3200 I am using, the autofocus is totally very bad, and I definitely cannot use it for filming myself. Also, it does not have any kind of flip out screen, and I also don't have any kind of secondary display on which I can look what I am filming at. Also, if you are using a DSLR, you need to have a wide angle lens. Wide angle lens is the key if you want to use a DSLR. So for all these reasons, I'm not using my DSLR for filming myself. What I'm using is my Samsung Galaxy S10 front camera for filming myself. So this is the kind of footage that you get from my S10's front camera. It's a 4K camera that can shoot at 30 frames per second. That is more than sufficient for filming yourself. Even though you have any other camera, maybe it's not capable of shooting at 4K, but still it can film at 1080p. Also, the front camera of any smartphone has a very wide field of view. You can already see that although my space looks very small from that angle, but it has a very wide field of view, which gives a very good impression to your viewers. And now I'm going to bring my DSLR at the same place where my smartphone is placed right now, and I'll show you what is the field of view and what is the kind of footage that you get from the DSLR. This is the kind of footage that you will be getting from your DSLR, which is mounted exactly on the same place as my smartphone is. You can already see the field of view, and I cannot adjust my autofocus myself, and we already know that we have to set the camera to the manual autofocus. So while keeping the camera on the tripod, I actually focused on this particular wall. So I recommend that you use your smartphone for filming yourself, and if you have a DSLR, make sure that it has a good autofocus system. So now the next important step is how to set autofocus, or how to set focus correctly on yourself. And I'll not talk about the mirrorless cameras and DSLR, especially for filming myself, because I'm not using that anymore, and I'll mainly talk about my smartphone. So first of all, make sure that you are in a correct sitting position and you are especially centered in between the frame, and then you have to move slightly towards your smartphone, and then we will tap on the darkest area on the screen, which is my shoulder. And it is for this reason I'm mainly wearing dark colors when I'm filming my videos. So I'll tap on my shoulder and I'll lock the focus, and then I'll move back. So you can already see that I'm already like almost correctly focused, because when I lean towards the camera, my shoulder was actually at the place where my head is at present right now, and when I moved back, so my head is correctly, or you can say exactly, in focus. Also, if you're using your smartphone, focus does not create that much of an issue. Even if I move 1 feet towards the camera or I move 1 feet away from the camera, I'll always be in focus, because they don't have a good bokeh effect because of that small sensor and everything. I'll not go too deep in the technical, but that's another advantage of filming with a smartphone. So now the next important step is how to light up your video. So first of all, I'm going to talk about lighting in my next video, because it's a very separate topic. But at present, I want to tell you that the only source of light I'm using is the one on this particular wall, which is a tube light, and then I have another tube light which is just behind the camera, which is for which I'm using to light up myself. Whenever you're using your smartphone for filming anything, make sure that there is a sufficient amount of light, no matter it's a dedicated video light or any kind of home light, but make sure that the intensity of light is enough so that your videos are properly lit. So now you already know that I use my smartphone for filming myself, but I also have a dedicated DSLR which I use for filming all the kind of products that I review on this channel. So this is the Nikon D3200 that came with this 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, and last year I also purchased this 50 millimeter prime lens for Nikon, which is right now mounted on the camera. So when we talk about lenses, so I want to say that this 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens is very good for filming outdoors. It gives you some kind of zoom capability, and also it's a kind of very versatile lens which works really very well in natural sunlight. But when we talk about filming in indoor conditions with some amount of artificial light which is not that bright as compared to sunlight, so you need to have a lens first of all which has a very wide aperture so that it brings in a lot of light. And also in indoor conditions you don't want your ISO to be too high, so the maximum ISO that I'm using on this camera is just ISO 400, and the rest of the light is actually compensated by this prime lens, which actually works very well in some kind of low light situations. Also this lens is going to give you a very sharp you can say very sharp focus, and also it's going to give you a very good bokeh. So this lens is actually good for filming indoors, while this 18 to 55 millimeter lens is a kind of lens which I don't use anymore. In fact, in the last 1 year after buying the 50 millimeter lens, I never ever had changed my lens on this camera. So this is how good this particular lens is. So now I'm going to show you 3 different clips of same object which I filmed with 18 to 55 millimeter, with 50 millimeter, and with my camera, and this will give you an idea what kind of depth of field I'm talking about and what is the kind of footage that you're going to get with all of these. So this is a side-by-side comparison of 50 millimeter with 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens. Just look at the amount of light that is there in the 50 millimeter footage as compared to the 18 to 55 millimeter. Just look at that grass in the background and also the amount of bokeh that you're getting with the 50 millimeter lens. In this another shot, just look at those lights in the background on 50 millimeter and also look at the light on background in the 18 to 55 millimeter. So overall this is a very overall you get a very clean footage with a 50 millimeter lens as compared to a slightly dark footage with less bokeh in 18 to 55 millimeter lens. And if you don't have any of these lenses or a DSLR, you can also film with your mobile camera, which is not bad at all. So you can already see that the footage is well lit, the colors are accurate. The only thing you have to compromise little bit is with the bokeh, but you can also get a very good bokeh if you bring the object a little bit close to your mobile camera, and it's going to create some of bokeh in the background. So I hope all the differences between different kind of lenses and camera is clear to you. So with this we come to the end of the video, and before wrapping up everything, I want to tell you that I'll be putting up this video in a separate playlist in my videos which I'll name as YouTube Gear. So this was the first video which was all about the cameras, and I hope it gave you some idea about which kind of camera to use in which situation. And over a period of time I'll be uploading more videos on different topics which is mainly related to filming. Like the next one will be about lighting, after that I'll talk about the audio, and then we'll keep on talking about different kind of gears that we are using. And over a period of time we will have good amount of content under that playlist. So all those of you who may be wanting to start your own YouTube channel, you can take some inspiration from all this kind of content. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.